Today we're going to be doing about a 15 minutes of something called a body awareness practice. And the reason we do that is because, uh, as we know, trying to ground ourselves in the present moment, one of the ways in order to stop the mind from doing its stuff, one of the ways that we do that is through our sensations that we sense in the physical body. And it's because we carry it around with us everywhere, it's quite a handy way in at any time of day, just to sort of feel in, as we know, to our feet or our hands or whatever. This practice is called body awareness for a reason. However, I just wanted to say a couple of things on the theme of acceptance, which is sort of a big part of mindfulness, really. Accepting that what you experience in the moment, in the here and now, is just what it is at this point in time. And the opposite of acceptance is being judgmental. And we're very good at being judgmental about, particularly about ourselves, about other people as well, but also about ourselves. We all have this inner critic that I'm sure you're all familiar with, that is quite demeaning and belittling sometimes, and not particularly healthy or helpful. And part of a mindfulness practice is just being able to, for those short few minutes, accept with whatever's going on, pleasant or unpleasant for you, is okay. It's just the way it is right now. And part of this one of the reasons we do the body awareness practice, as I say, is to come into our senses, literally coming to our senses right now. The other kind of reason, I guess, is to sort of acknowledge that if there's a bit of the body that I'm talking about that you have no sensation in at all, that's fine. When I first did this, I couldn't feel anything in my legs at all, ever. I just seemed to not have legs when the person was talking through it. So it's just, that's fine. And over time, I've been able to sense into more bits of me. And equally, there may be bits of you that I'm guiding you through that feel a bit niggly this morning, or a bit achy, or a bit itchy, or just not very comfortable. And two things I say about that. The first is, please do feel free to kind of move around, as I always say, if you feel you need to, that's fine. And also, just sometimes just accepting that right here, right now, that is what I've got. Okay, I've got a niggly knee or whatever it is sometimes quite a useful little exercise to train ourselves to do. So the quality of non-judgmentalness, if that's a word, and acceptance, I just invite you to focus on as we go through this practice. It's body awareness with a little bit of a twist. I'll just, to do it. Some of you may have done something. It's sometimes called the body scan or body awareness practice. And this is just something that I'll talk you through. And there's a little bit of a difference to it, but that's also good to try something new. Good. So settling in now, this will be about 15 minutes. So finding a position where you think you can be more or less comfortable for the next 15 minutes. Sometimes that means finding something to put behind your back to sort of support your lower back. And if you feel at any point that you might nod off, then you know that you can either move about a bit or just shift yourself forward on whatever you're sitting, so you're more upright and not resting so much on something. So just settling in now. If it helps you, close your eyes, as I usually do, but just lowering your gaze if not. And I'd invite you to begin by feeling as vividly as possible the soles of your feet right now, wherever they are. So just knowing that if you're sitting somehow maybe cross-legged where they're not pressing against anything, that's fine, but see if you can still get any sensation, any awareness of sensation in the soles of your feet. And most of you, by the way, will know by now that during any meditation practice, you can always center yourselves on the breath. So if working your way through the body, as I'm going to be doing, doesn't suit you, or there's a bit where you feel like you don't want to focus on that bit, that's fine. Just come to your breathing and focus on your breathing. But as best you can, Just see if you can, for the next few minutes, follow my guidance and focus in on the part of the body that I'm leading you to. So the soles of your feet, very useful bit of the body, the soles of the feet. They do a lot for us throughout the day. And if you're finding it tricky to zoom in your feet, then just perhaps gently wiggle your toes to get more of a sense of where your feet are. Now that sounds strange, but some parts of our body we can be quite disconnected from at times. So the soles of our feet are quite sensitive, lots of nerve endings there obviously. And as best you can, just feeling into those sensations on the bottom of your feet now. And now just seeing whether you can become aware of the sides of your feet, almost like around the edges of your feet, as if you were drawing a line around the edges of your feet. Just the edges around your toes, maybe the sides and the heel. Like shining a torch down onto your feet and imagining what it feels like. A lot of this we use our imagination, and that's fine. Imagination is a really important tool in mindfulness meditation practices. And now the tops of your feet, the tops of your individual toes, or just the tops of your feet, wherever they're resting right now. So you might get some sort of sensation of pressure from whatever you're wearing on your feet, or not. And you also might get an awareness of the sensation now of the whole of your feet, possibly your ankles as well, maybe the temperature of your feet, or feeling of lightness or weightiness possibly. Tingling or maybe a bit achy. Anything that you can notice is good. We're not judging, it's just simply becoming aware and accepting of whatever we can notice right now. And also just seeing as we do this, if you can soften your feet and relax your feet, because it is an area that holds tension for some people. It's just imagining your feet soften now. And now moving up to the lower legs, the shins and the calves. And here again, just seeing if you can become aware of the edges of your lower legs, if you like, the surface area. But also see if you can imagine the space inside your legs, inside your lower legs. Can you imagine what that might feel like? Now up to your knees, the fronts of the knees and the backs of the knees. And if you can, imagining the space inside your knees. And your upper legs now, your thighs, the backs of your thighs, round to whatever you're sitting on, your pelvic area. Just noticing here any sensations of weightiness, possibly sitting on the chair or the sofa. Also those edges again and the space inside your upper legs. What does that feel like right now? And then noticing that lovely sense of gravity as you sit here these next few minutes, allowing gravity to do its thing. lovely sense of just being planted here for a few minutes. Nowhere else to be, nowhere else to go. And if your mind wanders, which no doubt it will on several occasions throughout this practice, that's no problem at all. We just invite ourselves gently and firmly to bring yourself back to the sound of my voice and to the area that we're focusing on. So now moving up to the center of the body, the belly area, and round to the lower back. And once again here, becoming aware of the edges, the sides of you, the back and the front. Letting it relax and just becoming aware of any gentle movement in and out as you breathe very naturally in and out. So a gentle rise and fall, possibly. Gentle expansion and subsidence. Or possibly even a gentle pressure against whatever you're sitting on. As you breathe in and breathe out. What can you notice? Can you become aware of the space between your navel and your backbone inside the body as best you can? Now moving up to the upper torso, the chest area around the back, the upper back and the shoulder blades, and even up round under your collarbones and your shoulders. And here again, you might just be able to detect gentle movement, gentle expansion, and gentle subsidence around those edges of the body. As we breathe in and breathe out. That quality of being non-judgmental and just accepting whatever you can notice right here, right now. And now noticing your hands, and just resting wherever they're resting. Temperature of your hands. See if you can notice fully and vividly right now the palms of your hands. Get a sense of what the palms of your hands feel like right now. Maybe in a way that you haven't really thought about recently or for a while. Just sensing in to the palms of your hands. What do you notice? And now around your fingers and your thumbs and the tops of your hands, almost drawing around your hands, around each finger, around your thumbs, around the heel of the hand, just noticing what it feels like. Bringing your real present moment focus to your hands right now. And letting your hands soften as well as they rest here. And now up your arms now, your forearms up to your elbows and the tops of your arms. Just noticing here again the edges, but also you might get a sense of the space inside your arms, between wrist and elbow or between elbow and shoulder. What does that feel like? And if you don't get much of that sensation, that's fine. Just be curious and accept that whatever you notice is fine. Then up to our necks now, the front of our necks, our throats, and round to the back of our necks, where our head joins our body and where a lot of work goes on, carrying our heads around all day. Just see if you can soften the neck area. Allow your throat to soften and the back of your neck to soften as best you can. And up to your jaw now, relaxing your jaw, sometimes slightly parting the mouth just temporarily can help to relax the jaw. See if you can relax your ears and the muscles of the face, those tiny muscles that make up our face. See if you can become fully aware of what they feel like and relax them as best you can. Relaxing around the eyes and even relaxing the scalp. If you can, just get a sense of the whole of your scalp relaxing now and softening. And we get a sense of our whole heads, what the outside edges of our head feels like, and possibly even imagining space inside our head as best we can. We're not so much thinking about it, just getting a sense of what that might feel like. And now for the last few breaths of this practice, I'd invite you to see if you can acknowledge one thing that you're good at or proud of, just one thing that you feel that you're good at or that you're particularly proud of recently. What would that one thing be? And then one thing that makes you feel good. What do you know makes you feel good when you do it? What would that one thing be? And finally, one thing that you're most grateful for right now. What are you most grateful for, big or small, right now? And as we bring this practice to a close, gently bringing some movement into your fingers and your toes, giving them a wiggle if that feels good. Moving your body, having a little stretch if you feel like it. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So that was your body awareness practice, and with just a little bit of focus If ever you feel like doing it for yourselves, a little bit of focus on the space inside your body and the edges of your body as well. Something different to try. So we are already at time. It goes so quickly. And just if you feel like unmuting and saying anything, that's fine. As always, please invite friends or family who you think might benefit. Just ask them to ping me an email. I'm happy to have as many people as want to come. And thank you. And we'll see you this time next week.